Back Alley Barkeep. Oh god. There is always Back Alley Barkeep. If I play it the first time, does it draw me a card the first time I play it? That's not that bad. I will say I've never actually played this archetype. Never once. I've thought about it a lot. Sometimes it comes to me in my dreams. But I've never actually put this card in my deck and clicked play a game. Even in like the preview patches. That's never happened. So this is a world first. I mean, the cloning engine is pretty straightforward. It's just like fading memories, scribe. I think these are kind of like the 3 not bad cloning cards. Counterfeit copies. I'm not gonna go that deep. That's a little too deep. Oh yeah, Chronicler works, sure. And you might want to float the first couple of turns. Here's the problem with taking an aggressive float. It's like double float. The problem is like you need something to play on 3. And Scribe can't be played off of a double float. It's literally like the one card in the game you basically just can't play off of a double float. So that means like even Skitterer, like you don't hate the idea of playing Skitterer. That's kind of okay, you know. Absorb Soul is hidden OP in this deck. You want low cost spells and healing and board space. Dude, Barkeep decks just make no sense, right? You're probably gonna want Rummage, so you're kind of using your Barkeep as a really bad Chungus Mungus then. If you're actually like thinking about putting Rummage in the list, like what ties it all together? Where's my finisher? What do I do with all this random shit in my hand? I mean, the random shit is supposedly supposed to be my finisher. Supposedly, that's the idea. I mean, at the end of the day, the best way to maximize my win rate, I think, has to be using the Mistwraith package, right? Cards. And yeah, maybe Absorb Soul does start making sense. Because yeah, I mean, I just want to curve light. Basically, the way this deck wants to work is really simple. Barkeep is just gonna find me a win condition. I'm just gonna play normal cards, and I'm gonna Barkeep a few times, and just hope I have a win condition at the end of it all. Dude, I'm like, so we've got Fading Memories and Cursed Keeper, Chronicler of Ruin. Honestly, this hand kind of slapper. This hand is pretty slappy. I'll try this. What do you think rotation is gonna be like in LoR? Honestly, I would guess standard. Riot doesn't like doing things in the standard way. Riot likes saying, well, it's okay, but what if we do it like this instead? I expect Riot to do things a little different. I don't know exactly in what way that might look like, though. Yeah, I mean, Chronicler and Keeper is just nice as well. It's interesting. I've got a few lines here. I mean, I have to play Chronicler on 4, and I can't play Fading Memories then. But I can Fading Memories now, and then play it with Butcher on the Ephemeral one. That's got to be the line, right? I think that has to be. See, isn't that just like high value? That just feels like a nutty value play. So, Timothy, what do you think will be nerfed to next week? That's a good fucking question, actually. It's a weird position because they've been doing these like monthly balance patches. I actually forgot there was one coming up next week for a minute there. They do these like monthly balance patches, but this is the one that's right before the big thing. I don't know. I might optimistically hope that Allegiance gets kind of nerfed across the board. I think Allegiance is single-handedly the #1 thing that's been kind of holding back the meta and hurting a lot of people's enjoyment of the game to varying degrees, personally. I think Allegiance is kind of toxic. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of people, for some reason, I've seen a lot of people not understand that. Wow. I mean, if I glimpse this, I'm kind of getting the free glimpse. My Chronicler is ruined, no matter what. Dude, this is depressing. Who pops Keeper like this? A lot of people were complaining about like Shadow Isles for the longest time, and then complaining about Demacia for the longest time, and then, you know, and in between those maybe, or maybe at the start, complaining about Kinko elusives, which early versions of elusives weren't running Kinko, but that was because there was a slightly different like card pool at the time. Wrong glimpse. I kind of wanted to pop his 1/1 though. Alright, so I can play the Barkeep now. Here we go. First Barkeep coming right up. We got a Chungus Mungus. That's not bad. That's not bad. But yeah, the thing about Allegiance is just kind of like most of the meta decks we've seen so far have been Allegiance. They lead to very, very similar play patterns, and which is to say, between games, Allegiance decks feel samey. Like if I'm playing a Bannerman deck, it's usually going to play out in kind of a samey, linear way. But not only that, but they maintain a quite constrained play pattern between different decks as well, right? Like they're all just kind of like low synergy value decks. Like when you compare Mistwraiths to Bannermans, they do a lot of the same things, right? They don't really feel that different. They've got a turn 6 kind of like power kill combo, which is Hecarim or Cytheria, and if that doesn't get there, you know, they put on early aggression. Their timings are all the same. They use completely different cards, but they play in a very similar pattern, right? Are we doing Chronicler here? This is a weird play. I don't think I like Chronicler here. I'm just gonna swing. If he doesn't kill my Barkeep, then I can Chronicler it, and if he does kill it, then I can miscall it. This looks good. And now my Chronicler will heal my Barkeep. That's value, I guess? I don't know. How would you nerf Allegiance? There's a few ways to do it. Basically, the biggest way, well, it's two things. I would say the important thing is that there's kind of two components happening here. I don't like the word nerf personally, although I mean I use it sometimes just because it's kind of baked into my vocabulary. I try to not use it. I don't think that's how you should be thinking about game design almost at all.
Whatever the cost.
Like almost ever. This is weird. I kind of want my Barkeep to die more before I do anything. So what I mean by that is you should be thinking about whether things are kind of unhealthy in terms of their patterns rather than their power level or their balance. The balance is extremely secondary in game design and very overrated. So the real question is, how do you... It does need to see a little bit less of a play rate, you know, but how do you make it feel a little better? I'd say the number one thing is to make it a little less swingy, right? Now, I say swingy, and you're probably going to think I mean in terms of whether it procs or not, it feels bad, and I don't. I mean in terms of how many of them you draw. It's like if you're playing a Bannerman deck will swing its value an incredible amount based on like drawing one Bannerman or drawing 0 Bannerman versus drawing 2. It's like a completely different deck, right? And that's kind of where the real RNG of Allegiance cards is built in. I mean, I have to just open attack. I don't really want to play into Ruination here. Right? If you think about it like that, it's just like you're incurring a very high deck building cost to basically hopefully get back some of your value later by, you know, just lucking out and drawing the thing, right? This is kind of weird. I mean, I sort of have like quote unquote infinite value here, but I also don't feel very good at all. Honestly, I might actually just start mushrooming.
Oh, that's a harvest right there.
I think I just want to get these out. The earlier the better. Yeah, I'll chill here with some mana banks. Looks good. LoR has much less draw tutor, so it feels like you can't have one-win conditions. So the luck of the draw with Allegiance is pretty RNG. It's RNG isn't an inherently bad thing in card games. In fact, it's a quite good thing. In fact, LoR could actually benefit from some more RNG in some ways. There's a huge asterisk there. I'm not saying the game should be more like Hearthstone, but I don't think Allegiance is like the way it's implemented with just like that huge level of power swing. I think it's a little too much. There's guard RNG and bad RNG. Yeah, exactly. And that's something that I think a lot of people understand. It can be hard to break down and identify exactly what constitutes good RNG and what constitutes bad RNG, but yes, exactly. There's good RNG and there's bad RNG. I mean, I'm pretty ready to start swinging my dick here. I mean, he's just gonna be able to redevelop more if I play that out. This is so strange. Do I just scribe here? I kind of have too many resources. I don't know. I mean, dude's kind of right. Board is too full. We actually do just have too many units. Honestly, this deck is not that bad. the Back Alley Barkeep deck. Let's try to optimize this today. This looks fun. Nico Sneeko, this is why Absorb Soul and Rummage are key cards, IMO. Yeah. As our resident chat expert, Nico Sneeko, I might be tapping into your knowledge bank for this deck today. How many games of this deck, of this archetype have you played? Because you definitely talk like you have some real expertise here. And I tend to trust chat when they are basically just telling me that they know what they're talking about. Good RNG often allows you to take calculated risks. Bad RNG is often completely unpredictable and too swingy. I think those are probably true as rules of thumb. I can think of counterexamples to both. It's really hard to define. Because RNG, whether it feels good or bad, just taps into psychology, and psychology is pretty irrational, really. Oh god, this is so weird. Yeah, I mean, I do have too much board space. I mean, he'll deny my Vile Feast. But once he denies my Vile Feast, or I mean, maybe he rekindlers it. Yeah, I guess we're turning on rekindler. That's probably a bigger punish than deny.
We each died, then found home.
Now we're looking for a second kill opportunity. We've played 2 Barkeeps, right? So I think this one will go to 10. And we're looking for Grasp basically off of this. And now at this point, we nailed the Grasp like the good players that we are, which means we're looking for his deny to be gone. I mean, we can't force deny, so it's literally just, do you have deny? Go fish kind of thing. Let's cue the Poro emote, and good. Ooh, that's a little spicy. I mean, what am I using Islander on? Honestly, Caustic Cask is not even that bad here. It's just like 1 face damage. That's not bad. I'll do 1 face damage. Let's go, bud.
The answer lies within.
I just wanted to say that guy's comment about calculated risk versus getting screwed by RNG is like the difference between giving and receiving anal. Break down that comparison for me. You guys know I like the idea of far-fetched analogies. And then, by the way, the word analogy is, I mean, there's a joke there. It's low-hanging fruit. It's really fucking low-hanging fruit. I'm not gonna, whatever. There's a calculated, you know, that I like the idea of analogies. I think that one kind of seems a little ass-pulled, if I'm being perfectly honest. What does his rectum represent in this metaphor? Yeah, like break that one down for me. You know? Ruh-roh. Nah, not that bad. Just another, like, kind of like Skitter lethal condition. We don't really have much to do against Skitter except play our own, right? That's kind of all we can do. Okay, 1 mushroom. Are we running no champions? Running 0 champions is probably a little too trolly. I heard this Elise champion is pretty good. Maybe that's just too inescapable, especially because we need to curve lower anyway. Possession here also lets you block his fearsome with his own fearsome. Possessing an ephemeral unit doesn't really do anything, right?
Excuse you.
Yeah, I mean, I can just do this. I don't think there's really anything fancy to do here. The 3/3 is basically just saving me 3 health here. And it's ephemeral anyway. Yeah. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, we can deal more damage to this and take more damage. I'd kind of rather not, though. I can just chill. This looks good. Kill Barkeep for the mist. No, mist is gonna be too random this turn. And honestly, I kind of have a full hand anyway. I don't know if I can really get value out of killing this Barkeep, honestly. I don't think I can. We got an escaped A-bomb. It's quite cute that this custs too, honestly. Looks like we're pretty primed for a sick opener here. We just want to start swinging. Yeah. I'm pretty ready. I'll swing in. Now he'll probably have a whale, and a doubled up whale kind of blasts us out of the ocean here. I don't know. The thing about leveled karma is you can't really beat it. Like as soon as they double whale, you're just kind of fucking done.
Join the conflagration.
It's definitely a double whale. Here's the thing, when people start playing faster, that means they've got big answers, right? The only big answer here, apart from some random chiral off of karma, is like the double whale. Quad whale? It's not whale, that's interesting. He's actually taking a lot of damage here. What the heck? I mean, I'll happily absorb soul this Barkeep. That looks sweet. Do I Fading Memories the Barkeep too? Is that a step too far? Fading Memories Rekindler, but I run no champions, and that's a problem. I'll Fading Memories Barkeep. I'll kill a Barkeep and I'll put one in hand. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. This deck just doesn't run out of steam, dude. Like, it's impossible for this deck to run out of gas. It is actually literally impossible. We just have too much gas. Like, way too much. Your hand is a bunch of 1-drops? Yeah, but it's gas.
There's nothing to fear.
It's a lot of gas. So our Barkeep is drawing 4 at this point. Spooky Karma isn't actually threatening, as real Karma is. Yeah, Spooky Karma, you can outgrind. It's like, look at this guy. What's he got? I'm just gonna Mystic Call again. Let's get another Chungus, dude. Let's go, let's go. I mean, there's only 1/3 of a bad option here. Honestly, this deck ain't bad. I mean, it's not like obviously good. As far as bad decks go, this isn't actually that bad.
Then kindle anew.
Alright, so Barkeep. Okay, so Barkeep, and we just find like Mystic Shot or something, and we're good. Okay, these aren't helpful at all. I will say, it's a pretty fun deck for how, like, here's the thing. The thing about deck building that's important to understand is that there's something called a bad to fun ratio, right? Or B2F. And the thing about B2F is that, oh god, I think we lost actually. Fuck. Shit. He's out of mana. He's just looking for one last swing here. The thing about B2F is that as long as a deck has a high amount of fun, it's perfectly reasonable for it to be a bad deck, right? That's the most important thing. Like, take for example Pursuit of Perfection. Pursuit of Perfection has a really low B2F, right? Because Pursuit of Perfection is very bad and honestly not that fun, right? This deck is not only a bit better than Pursuit of Perfection. In fact, it's actually probably a lot better, but it's also more fun. Like, the Back Alley Barkeep's just doing a lot of random shit. It's quite neat. It's sweet, dude. I dig it. Thanks for the suggestion, boys. Thanks for coercing me into playing Back Alley Barkeep, a deck that I never wanted to play.